America was standing on the edge of change. The Cold War shaped headlines. President John F. Kennedy spoke of progress and challenge. And in Denver, the US Mint struck more than 421 million dimes. To most, it was only spare change. Today, some examples are worth thousands of dollars. The 1963 D Roosevelt dime is small in size but big in history. Each coin weighs 2.5 grams, measures 17.9 millimeters across, and is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. On the obverse, the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt. On the reverse, a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The Denver Mint's D mint mark sits proudly on the reverse, to the left of the base of the torch. Mintage was enormous, over 421 million pieces. That makes circulated examples common, often worth only their silver melt value of $2 to $3. But the story changes with condition. Collectors chase coins graded mint state, MS65, MS66, and especially MS67 with the full torch designation. Full torch means the torch lines on the reverse are sharp and fully struck. These are scarce. Auction records prove the difference. A basic MS65 sells for $20 to $40. An MS66 can bring $75 to $150. Step into MS67 full torch, and the value jumps into the thousands. One sold for $1.6 and $10, another reached $9.98. The auction record stands over $3,200. Imagine a dime, once used for a soda, selling for more than $3,000. Errors add more excitement. Look for repunched mint marks, where the D appears doubled. Doubled dies, with letters or numbers showing clear doubling. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing. Even small off-center errors can be worth hundreds. Dramatic errors, like half the design missing, can sell for thousands. The 1963 D dime is also a piece of history. It belongs to the final years of silver coinage. By 1965, the Coinage Act removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters. That makes the 1963 D part of the last era of silver in everyday pockets. The coin also honors Roosevelt, remembered for his leadership in World War II and for founding the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio. The dime was chosen as his tribute. Collectors can still find these coins. Start with old change jars, rolls from banks, and inherited collections. Estate sales and flea markets are overlooked sources. Many people still have silver coins tucked away, unaware of their value. The key is condition. Strong luster, no wear, and sharp torch bands separate common from rare. Never clean a coin. Cleaning erases value instantly. If you suspect a rare piece, submit it to PCGS or NGC. Professional grading gives buyers confidence and can multiply your return. Selling depends on rarity. Common silver examples sell easily on eBay, Facebook groups, or local shops. Rare MS67 full, torch coins, or dramatic errors belong in major auction houses like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. These platforms connect you with serious collectors willing to pay the premium. The value range is wide. Circulated, $3. MS65, $40. MS67 full torch, over $3,000. Add a dramatic error, and you can cross even higher numbers. Think of the journey. Struck in 1963 at Denver, carried through years of Cold War, anxiety and the national tragedy of President Kennedy's assassination later that year, forgotten in drawers and jars, now rediscovered, graded, and treasured. A survivor in perfect condition becomes a small fortune. The 1963 D Roosevelt dime is more than silver. It is a link to history. It is a story of rarity hiding among the ordinary. It is proof that even the smallest coin can hold incredible value. So when you see a silver dime, stop and check. Look at the date. Look for that D mint mark. Examine the torch bands. Search for doubling, repunching, or off-center strikes. You might be holding a coin that turns pocket change into thousands. That is the legacy of the 1963 D Roosevelt dime. A coin of its time, a coin of silver, a coin of opportunity. The Cold War was intense. John F. Kennedy was about to run for president, and in Denver, the US Mint struck hundreds of millions of silver dimes. The 1960 D Roosevelt dime looks ordinary, but in the right condition, it can sell for thousands. Each 1960 D dime is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. It weighs 2.5 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters. On the obverse, you see Franklin Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinnock. On the reverse, the familiar torch with an olive branch and an oak branch. The D mint mark, showing Denver, sits to the left of the torch base. Mintage was high, over 200 million coins. That means circulated examples are easy to find. usually worth only their silver melt value of about $2 to $3. But condition changes everything. Collectors look for mint state coins, especially MS66 and MS67. A full torch designation, meaning both torch bands on the reverse are fully visible and sharp, makes them even scarcer. Auction records highlight the jump in value. A typical MS65 sells for $20 to $40. An MS66 full torch has brought over $200. MS67 examples have sold for $1,500 to $2,900. The record price stands above $2,000 for a top-quality 1960D Roosevelt dime, a dime worth just 10 cents in 1960, turning into thousands today. Errors make this coin more exciting. Look for double dies on the date or lettering, repunched mint marks with the D struck more than once, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing. Even small errors can raise value to $100 or more. Dramatic off-center, strikes or double-struck examples can reach into the thousands. The 1960D dime is also tied to American history. This was the start of the 1960s, a decade of civil rights, the space race, and deep political change. Silver was still part of everyday coinage. But just a few years later, in 1965, the US Mint would remove silver from circulating dimes. That makes the 1960D part of the last era of silver Roosevelt dimes. Where can you find one today? Start with old change jars, inherited collections, and estate sales. Silver dimes often sit unnoticed in boxes for decades. Check bank rolls too. While rarer, silver still turns up. Look for strong luster, no wear, and clear torch bands. These signs mean you might have something valuable. If you find a special example, never clean it. Cleaning destroys the surface and kills value. Instead, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. A certified grade gives confidence to buyers and can multiply the price. Selling depends on what you have. Circulated examples, worth melt value, sell easily on eBay or at local coin shops. Rare MS67 full torch coins or major. Errors should be sent to major. Auction houses like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. That's where serious collectors pay serious money. Think of the value ladder. Circulated, $3. MS65, $40. MS66 full torch, a couple hundred. MS67, over $500. Add an error, and the price can rise even higher. This dime has a story. Struck in Denver in 1960, carried in pockets during the dawn of a turbulent decade, forgotten in drawers, and rediscovered today as a collector's prize. The 1960D Roosevelt dime is more than silver. It is history in your hand. It is proof that condition, rarity, and timing can transform a simple coin into something remarkable. So check every silver dime you come across. Look for 1960. Look for that Denver D mint mark. Examine the torch bands. Search for doubling, repunched marks, or off-center strikes. One small discovery could turn 10 cents into thousands. That is the story of the 1960 D Roosevelt dime. A coin of silver, a coin of history, and a coin of hidden value. America was moving into a new decade. The nation was recovering from World War II, and the Cold War was beginning to heat up. In San Francisco, the US Mint struck the 1950s Roosevelt dime. A small silver coin, easy to overlook, but today it can carry surprising value. Each 1950s dime is made of 90% silver and 10% copper. It weighs 2.5 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters across. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, created by John R. Sinnott. On the reverse, a torch, olive branch, and oak branch. The S mint mark for San Francisco is placed to the left of the torch's base. The mintage was modest compared to later years, just over 20 million coins. That makes it scarcer than many other Roosevelt dimes. Circulated examples are common in collections, often worth only their silver melt value of about $2 to $3. But in mint state, this coin can be far more valuable. Collectors look for sharp, well-struck examples with full detail. The full torch designation, where both bands on the reverse torch are fully visible, is rare and commands a premium. Auction results tell the story. An MS65 1950s dime sells for about $40 to $70. MS66 can bring $150 to $200. In MS67 full torch, prices jump into the thousands. One example sold for $1,993. Another went higher at $1,955. The record stands above. $2,200 for a top quality, $1,900, from 10 cents to more than $2,000. Errors and varieties make this coin even more appealing. Look for repunched mint marks where the S appears doubled. Double die, obverse or reverse varieties, though rare, are highly desirable. Off-center strikes or misaligned dies are possible too, and even small errors can bring strong premiums. A 1950S with a major error can sell for hundreds or more. Historically, this coin marks an important moment. The Roosevelt dime was still a relatively new design, first introduced in 1946 to honor the president, who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. By 1950, the United States was entering the Korean War, and silver coins were still circulating freely. Within 15 years, silver would disappear from everyday coinage. That makes every pre-1965 dime part of America's silver legacy. So how can you find one? Start with old coin jars, family collections, and estate sales. Many 1950s dimes still sit in albums or boxes, forgotten by their owners. Coin roll hunting is another method, though silver dimes are harder to spot in modern rolls. Look for bright luster, no wear, and strong torch bands. These are signs of higher value. If you believe you have a rare example, never clean it. Cleaning ruins the coin's surface and destroys its value. Instead, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Certified grades increase buyer trust and can raise your selling price dramatically. Selling depends on condition. Circulated coins worth melt value are best sold on eBay, in Facebook coin groups, or at local shops. But if you find a top-graded MS67 full torch or a rare error, it belongs at heritage auctions, Stack's, Bowers, or Great Collections. These venues attract serious collectors willing to pay top dollar. The value ladder is clear. Circulated? About $3. MS65? Around $50. MS66? A couple hundred. MS67 full torch? Over $2,000. Errors add another layer of profit. The 1950s dime tells a story. Struck in San Francisco at the start of a new decade, carried in pockets during the Korean War, put away by chance, only to be discovered today as a hidden treasure. The 1950s Roosevelt dime is not just silver. It is history, rarity, and opportunity, a reminder that even the smallest coin can hold remarkable value. So the next time you see a silver dime, look closely. Check the date. Look for that S mint mark. Study the torch bands. Search for doubling, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. What looks like a small coin could be worth thousands. That is the story of the 1950s Roosevelt dime, a coin of silver, a coin of history, and a coin of hidden worth. Europe was at war. The United States was not yet involved, but the world was preparing for conflict. In San Francisco, the US Mint struck the 1940s Mercury dime, a small silver coin from a turbulent time. Today it can range from common to highly valuable depending on condition. The 1940s dime is part of the Mercury dime series, designed by Adolf A. Weinman. The obverse shows Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. The reverse features a fasces, a bundle of rods with an axe blade alongside an olive branch. This design represents strength and peace. The S mint mark, for San Francisco, appears on the reverse to the left of the fasces. Each coin is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighs 2.5 grams, and measures 17.9 millimeters. The San Francisco Mint struck over 21 million of these dimes in 1940. That makes them fairly common in circulated condition, often worth only silver melt value, around $2 to $3. But in mint state, with sharp strikes and strong luster, values rise sharply. Collectors especially prize examples with full bands. That means the horizontal lines across the fasces on the reverse are fully separated. And sharp. Full bands examples are much harder to find and carry a significant premium. Auction records prove this. A regular mint state coin graded MS65 might sell for $50 to $80. At MS66, prices can reach $150, but a 1940s with full bands changes everything. An MS66 full bands has sold for $1,725. An MS67 full bands reached $6,463. The highest auction record stands above $10,000, from 10 cents to 5 figures, all depending on strike and preservation. Errors and varieties add more interest. Look for double die obverses, where the date or lettering shows doubling. Repunched mint marks are also possible, with a faint extra S visible. Off-center strikes and other mint errors can sell for hundreds or more depending on severity. Historically, this coin carries weight. It was struck just before America entered World War II. The Mercury dime itself is one of the most admired designs in US coinage, representing both strength and liberty in a time of global conflict. The 1940s is a snapshot of America on the edge of war, struck in silver, that would soon be critical for the wartime economy. How can you find one today? Search inherited collections, old coin jars, or estate sales. Coin shops and shows also offer opportunities, though full bands examples are scarce. Condition is everything. Strong luster, clean surfaces, and sharp band detail are the signs of a valuable coin. If you think you've found a special 1940s dime, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning destroys originality and kills value. Instead, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Their certification gives collectors confidence and can dramatically increase the selling price. Selling depends on rarity. Common circulated coins are best sold as silver bullion on eBay, Facebook groups, or to local shops. But if you have a certified full bands coin in high grade, the best option is a premier auction house such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. The value ladder is clear. Circulated, $3. MS65, around $70. MS66, $150. MS66 full bands, $1,700. MS67 full bands, over $6,000. And the finest known examples, more than $10,000. The 1940s Mercury dime is more than a coin. It is a piece of art by Weinman, struck in silver, carrying the tension of its era. From the eve of World War II to modern collections, it remains a symbol of rarity and history. So check every Mercury dime you see. Look for 1940, look for that San Francisco S mint mark. Examine the bands on the reverse. Search for doubling, repunched mint marks, or striking errors. You might be holding a coin worth far more than you imagine. That is the story of the 1940s Mercury dime. A coin of silver, a coin of beauty, and a coin that can turn pocket change into thousands.